You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her. She's not dangerous. She's just a princess. The danger comes if she gets out, which she will unless you do something about it. Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey. The more specifics you have, the harder it will be for you to do this very important job. She's a princess. People will listen to her, because listening to her is in their nature. And when they do, everything will come crashing down. Good. As long as you remain focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me. I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
That laugh. I think I'm in love. Stop it.
I have no idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm down here, or how I got here. I was kind of hoping you might be able to shed some light on the whole situation.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
They haven't shared a thing, have they? All I've done is point a finger. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle. She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase, its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You've brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
The blade slips from your fingers and clatters uselessly to the floor. We didn't have to do that. And yet you did. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
But the words don't leave your mouth. Instead, your legs buckle and your knees hit the floor.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does, and beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet. This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart. All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful god unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am, or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world. And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours. I say, perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer. You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand!
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway. You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this. Oh, we'll end this all right. Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her. No, you can't just slay yourself. You're perfectly healthy and capable, and all you have to do is ignore her and do what has to be done. The blade and the hand that wields it remain firmly locked in place until you change your mind and decide to do literally anything else.
Look at you quaking against my will. An ant defying a god. It's pointless to resist. In the end, everything submits to oblivion. But you're not the one resisting me, are you? There's something else in there. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
You bring the blade to your neck. You slice through soft flesh, severing veins and arteries. Your blood flowing freely down your body. It's a painful lesson in obedience, but the pain won't last forever. No.
When I see you again, you'll free me from my chains and deliver me to the destiny that lies beyond this place.
We will. I promise.
I know you will.
Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path... Oh, let me guess, and at the end of the path is a cabin! Excuse me? Come on, man. We can see it right in front of us. And besides, we've been here 5 times already? I think this is 3. Who cares? The woods are always the worst part anyway. Nothing ever happens in them. I care. Every single time you've been here, it means an entire other reality has been damned to oblivion. One reality is already an incalculable loss. And there is a massive difference between 3 and 5. Feels like the numbers getting thrown around here are too big not to be abstract. Numbers like 5. Numbers like entire realities. At the end of the day, it's all just silly, isn't it? None of us can count to a whole reality, and he's asking us to think about the difference between 3 and 5. You're already starting to lose the thread. Just because you can't personally sum up the contents of an entire reality doesn't mean that the people inhabiting it don't contain moral value. If you have any sense of ethics left in there, if you have any moral compass, please, you have to stop her. Don't you get it? Might makes right, and she didn't even have to touch us last time to prove her power. So what? Just because she made us kill ourselves, we're supposed to submit to her authority without question? I knew when to surrender to our better. You would have lost eventually anyway, and it would only have made her angry. It would only have made things worse for all of us. Oh, for the love of... Can you all please just get on with it? You're not making this any easier for yourselves. Do we even have agency right now? We either do what she wants, or we do what he wants. Either way, we're listening to somebody. Please, nothing in life is a binary. Obviously, we find a third choice that nobody wants. You all talk about choices and freedom, but there is no choice when it comes to the will of a god. I'm going to cut you off right there. She is not a god, and the more times you fail, the harder it becomes for you to succeed. But the fact that you're still here means you still have a chance to pull this off. So, princess, dangerous, cabin, slay, now. And right now you have neither the time nor the mental acuity to handle a single response. It's now or never. As you finish your inane question, the ground quakes beneath your feet. You feel an unyielding force pulling at you and your surroundings. The trees start to sway and then crumble, breaking apart as everything is drawn towards the cabin. Even the earth beneath you seems to shift, your feet unable to grip solid ground as you're dragged forward along with everything else.
The end of everything. The beginning of something new. The moment we open that door, she will be free.
Any, words of warning? You already know everything you need to know. As you step forward, the cabin explodes. You're flung backwards, violently slamming into a tree as debris rains down around you. You watch in paralyzed awe and terror as the princess emerges, her body unfurling from some vast space as she stands upright to face you. The world bows to her. The ruined landscape shifts, trees and stone and the ground itself succumbing to her gravity, orbiting her like a great black hole.
Finally, the little bird has set me free. This is always how it was going to end, and this is always how it was going to begin.
There's a loud thunk from the tree behind you as something embeds in its shattered bark. Your pristine blade. It's now or never. Well, we could always run away, right? To where? I don't know. Anywhere.
You're all ruining the moment of her ascension. Have you no respect for the divine?
With a grim determination, you yank the blade from the trunk. Yeah, this feels right. She doesn't get to just smugly stand over us like we don't matter. Let's take her down a peg.
You're not going to win. You know that, right? What are you going to do with that tiny blade? Give her a scratch?
Even if that's all we manage, I'd rather go down swinging. See how everything's floating around her? I bet we could make it if we just jumped really hard. You gather yourself, closing your eyes and shutting out the towering vision of the princess. There is only her and you. That's all there ever was. It's time to face her. You launch yourself towards the princess. The pull of her gravity catches you, carrying you across the ground into the violent swirl of her orbit.
Such defiance even now. Do it then. Show me what you think it takes to end that which is destined to end everything.
Don't you see how hopeless this is? She fears nothing.
That's right, she doesn't. So she has no idea what she's in for. With a heavy thump, you land on her chest. It's now or never. We've come this far. Let's take it home. You strike, but her skin is like steel. Though you stab at her again and again, the wounds are superficial, mere etchings in a sprawling surface.
You see? It was always pointless. All this has done is bring us close to her. And how beautiful it is to be so close.
It's not pointless, it can't be. We wouldn't be here if there wasn't some hope we could succeed.
Is that all?
The princess plucks you from her chest, pinching the scruff of your neck delicately between two fingers as she brings you to eye level.
I forgive you your transgressions, but my destiny is inescapable.
She thinks she's so much better than us. There has to be something else we can do. We're not going out like this.
He offered us forgiveness. You would turn down such an incredible gift. You would turn away from her glory for something as petty as pride.
Yes, let's give her something to remember us by. You concentrate your will to a fine point and hurl your blade at the princess's eye. It flies through the night sky and then nothing.
She could never be harmed by...
It pierces her cornea. She howls, recoiling in pain, and you fall from her distracted hand. You hit the ground with a painful thud. She narrowly misses you as she comes crashing down to her knees.
So I've misread you. You are not the willful key that will turn the lock of my liberation. You are an enemy to be smitten by my hand.
The princess holds up her monumental hand, its glowing palm radiating a blinding light. It grows and grows until it's all you can see. And then you erupt, your very soul mere kindling to her light. The inferno incinerates everything that is you. And with it... No, that's not right. Why is it hot? I'm not supposed to be able to feel anything. Oh no. Oh no.
You leave me no other choice. Suffer for the crime you have committed against my divine body. Damnation will purify us both. It's cold now, and I feel small. I thought I was everything. But I'm no better than you, am I?
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. How can the world have ended if we are talking? I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt. I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now. There's nowhere for you to be but here. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one sits at the cusp of awakening, a new god waiting to be born. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she has finally found her light. Nothing, as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. I have not lived. I am not afraid to die. Everything, until we meet again. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold. Then we will be here forever, as we are now, unfinished, dry, hollow. If you need time, then I'll wait with you. You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage? You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine. You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.